welcome to a new episode of the Otaku Informers. My name is Rashid, and I am here with my two co-hosts, Matt and Felipe. So how are you doing, guys?
Hi, good morning, guys. It's early here, but surviving. It's a bit raining on my side.
All right. So first things first today, our first topic of the day will be EVO 2022 with our special informer, fighting game expert, Felipe. So, Felipe, you're going to tell us about the EVO 2022 fighting game announcements. And
Yeah, sure. Well, so first of all, in case people don't know, like the Evo is like short for Evolution, which is like a big tournament usually held like in like Nevada or like I think in the west coast of the United States. I've never been there, of course. It's kind of far, but let's jump on directly, like more or less in order. Like one of the biggest announcements that people I really happy, but kind of disappointed, but happy nonetheless, is the MVC2, Marvel vs. Capcom 2 arcade cabinet. A lot of people like Maximilian and that dude, the channel, he's been petitioning like hashtag bring back Marvel or something like that. And they want, we all want, I mean, they want, I personally don't, but they want Marvel vs. Capcom to come back to the online stores. But this is better than nothing. So this is the first announcement, an arcade cabinet. A lot of people, I think, they're familiar with Persona 4 Arena Ultimax, if you put it on the picture,
yeah,
but that is getting a rollback netcode. Many of the announcements is regarding that rollback netcode, and the PS4, 5, Xbox is getting a rollback netcode, which is the superior vision to make it like online and go as smooth as possible. But unfortunately, the Switch version is not getting that apparently. Once again, Nintendo getting the short end of the stick in many aspects, many ports. Any shocks there? No. Yeah, next, apparently there was like a new game called Umbrocore, which is a indie title, sort of like what Skullgirls was. Umbrocore has like a trailer. It looks like a dark universe, fireballs and everything. It's pretty cool.
question.
Yes.
Umbrocore, what is it gonna be? Like a fighting game?
Yeah, they're all fighting games on announced on EVO. Everything is fighting game related.
What's the company that's making Umbrocore?
Oh, I don't recall. This is an indie title. It's
Oh,
a new one. Yeah. It looks pretty cool. I'm gonna look up like the oops, my bad.
were you watching the news?
Yeah, it's sort of a documentary. All right, so Umbro Core, this is like announcement. It's a indie title. Are you putting up the some images on the screen?
If you open Twitch, every time you switch to another game, I switch pictures. So don't worry, the pictures have been following you.
Oh, you're quick. You're good. I got a noob on this aspect. All right, so Umbro Core. So this is an indie title. It kind of looks like Mortal Kombat if you look at the trailer, but it plays as smoothly, has fireballs like Street Fighter. So next is Guilty Gear Strive. So this is the latest game of the Guilty Gear franchise, and once again, is also getting crossplay. This is a term that's been popular among like fighting games these days. Crossplay, so you can fight between Xbox and computer and PlayStation and the like. So this is like it's getting popular these days. Street Fighter 5 already started crossplay between PS4 and the PC. And what's important also in the Guilty Gear Strive, we're getting a popular character coming back. Fan favorite Bridget was announced to return. And maybe you don't know, but this is also representation because Bridget has been one of those popular trans characters for a while, like Poison in Street
Really?
Fighter. Yeah.
Oh my god, my world has been shaken. She used to be my favorite character in Guilty Gear.
Yeah, it's like if you don't know code, like in anime terms, this is like a very beautiful trap.
I was gonna say it's a trap. I should have the meme. It's a trap ready.
Yeah, so yeah, Bridget has been announced. Next, more or less. So this is like now this like SNK in terms of quantity. I think SNK one. So the first one is Samurai Showdown, the latest game that came out a few years ago, that got revived after like maybe 2 decades, is getting an update and is getting a rollback netcode again. This is like after a year and a half or so that it's getting a major update, the title. But the game itself is King of Fighters 15, which is getting a Samurai Showdown team, including Haomaru, Nakururu, and Darly Dagger. So a bit of a crossover there, which King of Fighters itself is a crossover. King of Fighters is also getting robot code, crossplay, and it's also got announcement of other teams, like individual characters like Shingo and Kim. If you've ever played, you know who those are. Classic characters. And we're also getting a crossplay. And we got a view of the Team Awakened Orochi. The Team Orochi, which is Yahiro, I think. Yashiro, Shermie, and Chris, they got released like a while back. But now this is their Awakened version. Awakened Orochi from like King of Fighters 97, like way back. This is a throwback. This is a nice Easter egg for fans. And next on the list, it's Skullgirls. Do you guys know her? Skullgirls?
No,
Skullgirls is another indie fighting game that came out like literally over 10 years ago. And it's the same title. Technically, they got like a few revamps, like Street Fighter 2, like they got ported, and it has an interesting story. At some point, it was only online, and then because it changed, like distributors, they asked to be removed from the online stores, and now they re-released the same game with a second coming type of game. And they've been releasing like characters steadily, but it's been like basically the same game, getting support like for 10 years. And now they got an announcement of like the latest character, Dahlia, and a few other DLCs.
question.
So yes,
When was the last time they released a character? Before, like
uh,
before this Black Dahlia.
I was doing like some brief research. I think it was about like 5 years ago. They released a pack of like five characters. This latest like season of DLC has like three, I believe. Yeah, I haven't played Skullgirls in a while, so like I'm off. Like just know about it, and it's like one of those games that has this special place in the fighting game community because it's so prominent in how the characters that are mostly females. So next on the list we have the Multiverse season one roadmap. So we got like announcement for characters like Rick and Morty, like cosmetics, costumes, modes.
This is one game that we could actually play together, Felipe, if you ever want to. Because I installed it, I played a couple of games, but it's kind of a boring game by yourself, right? But if you
Yeah,
ever want to play, let me know. I'm actually hyped for Rick and Morty. They're two characters. Yeah, they're two characters. Two different
yeah,
characters.
let's go. I've been actually stuck on Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 2, but we'll get to Multiverse. Looks fun.
One comment
Definitely, yeah.
that about multiverse before you move to the next topic. Um, I heard that Tom and Jerry actually on Sacred Symbols that they're a pair of characters, but they fight against each other, and that's their moveset. It's Tom and Jerry fighting against each other and hurting other characters in the process, which that concept alone makes me want to play this game. For real. Like,
That's so unique and different. Sort of like
yeah.
how Pichu in Smash Brothers attacks itself with like electric moves. So this is like a interesting mechanic I haven't seen in a while. Like I can't wait to try. I sure hope it plays better than Nickelodeon. I played that, I tried, but the controls are so bad. They should have just copied the Smash command set, but I digress. Let's go back to the announcements.
Mhm.
Next, we got Dragon Ball Fighters. Dragon Ball Fighter Z. So the announcement for this is that it's getting a PS5 and Xbox Series X port, and it's getting rollback code. Again, majority of these announcements is just rollback netcode and how it's supposed to be better. I personally am not that much of a online player. Like I do prefer to play locally or offline modes because I'm a casual. But if people will be happy with that, go for it. And plus, the more Dragon Ball is getting popular because of the superhero movie, so let's ride that train. The hype train is coming.
Question. Felipe,
Yes,
do you have Dragon Ball Fighter Z?
I don't. I
Okay.
played in some places, but I'm curious to try just
If
because.
yeah,
Yeah,
no, I was
go
gonna say
ahead.
if you ever get it, well, I'm down to play with you too because that's one of those games. It's one of the rare games I bought a long time ago. I played the story mode and then never touched the game again. So if you ever want to play, let me know.
Sure. I've been following some news about that, and like especially from the beginning, the concept like it was just so beautiful. Like they were like copying iconic scenes from the anime to translate into digital, and it feels like it's so faithfully recreated. Like it looks.
I love this
I
game.
mean,
I never wanted to sell it just because I actually love Dragon Ball Fighter Z. It's just fighting games. I just don't like playing them by myself. Even online,
yeah,
just it's a friends thing.
I agree. It's one of those games that because it's from an IP that we all care about. Maybe not mad because it's just basically like give me Persona stuff.
Yeah, just give me Persona stuff.
I
Yeah.
was surprised you
Next,
talked about Persona at the beginning.
yeah, because it's only like the only announcement is just like rollback code, rollback. Okay, it's like cool story, bro. You know. Next game is Fatal Fury. You probably heard about Fatal Fury, another SNK announcement. And the next game is Mark of the Wolves. It's getting a sequel after maybe like 20 years. Main protagonist Rock Howard, son of Geese Howard, like the one of the big bads of the universe. So finally, I've never been a big fan of Garo personally, but I'm happy for those who care. And next, big one of the biggest, like the biggest 3D fighter, Tekken. We got a teaser that may or may not be Tekken 8. We have to wait and see. So it's just Kazuya Mishima, the second protagonist or antagonist or anti-hero, however you want to see it. Tekken is getting an announcement. Just like maybe it's coinciding similar to like the announcement of like the Tekken anime that is supposed to be coming out soon on Netflix. Did you hear about that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that looks good for
Question.
once. Yeah,
Um, what's his name again? This character? I forgot.
Kazuya
Kazuya.
Mishima.
So Kazuya was the latest character they added to Smash, no? Was he the latest? No, the
No.
latest is Sora. Sora, yeah. But they
Yeah,
added
he was
the
second to last.
a second last. Do you think that? Because I heard a debate. They were like, out of all the Tekken characters, was Kazuya the one they should have added? What do you think about that, Felipe?
I personally think that Jin is more iconic, but I
Same.
guess because Kazuya transforms also, I don't know. Like it's hard to say because Jin became the new protagonist. Like I started playing Tekken, the Tekken franchise in the Tekken 3, but that was already the time skip of like Tekken 1 and 2. And the story is that Kazuya was technically like the victim of his own dad. Like the first game, he got thrown off a cliff from his dad, Heihachi, and he was just a boy. He came back for revenge, but technically to pay his dues, right? Because he got thrown off a freaking cliff. And then he beat his dad in the tournament of Tekken 1, and then in Tekken 2 it was the opposite. He lost, and then Heihachi threw him off a cliff. So it's a big family beef. But then Tekken 3 is like 15 or so years later, and then we changed it. New protagonist is Jin Kazama. Kazuya is nowhere to be seen. He's probably just frozen in the volcano, sort of like Han Solo style, like in ashes or something. And then he came back on Tekken 4. And then Tekken 4 onward, it was like they were all there, all three, and it's just a grandfather, father, like son beef, and that's been happening. So I personally should have been Jin. But anyway, so we'll see how they go because technically the Mishima saga ended in Tekken 7,
Mm.
just like the Wesker saga ended in Resident Evil 6 and so on. So like they finally going forward with some stories like Street Fighter 6, which is the next and last announcement. Street Fighter 6 got announced with two new characters. Well,
Nice.
one new character and one returning character. First one, newcomer Kimberly. She's going to fight like Guy, the ninja. So she's going to be the mandatory ninja of the roster.
Mm.
He is learning some Bushingyu, like Guy, like Zack from Street Fighter 5. But the Street Fighter 6 blog says that she is an unwanted or kind of like intruder to Guy. So maybe we're going to see how the story plays out. And the next one is a fan favorite since Street Fighter 4, Jury. Korean femme
Yes.
fatale. And the latest trailer, if you happen to see, if you care enough to see the trailer,
I do.
he looks badass. My gosh, he looks badass. He's probably the only good thing that the producer Ono, Yoshinori Ono from Street Fighter 4, like brought to the table,
Yeah.
because it's been like ruining Street Fighter, focusing only on the online aspects. But the two new directors, Takayama and the other guy whose names I forgot, like Street Fighter from the last season of season 5 Street Fighter, they know what's up. They had to make it fun, and they're planning on bringing back a lot of external and offline modes, so they know how to play, how to entertain fans, casual and pros. So what do you think? Like, many fan favors, many things. Like I think fighting fans like this, especially the hardcores, they're well fed this year.
Hmm.
I think I
Nice.
missed a few, but like let me know in the comments, and if you have anything to mention to add, comments.
One last closing point, since we're talking about fighting games. I heard that b- the studio that makes Blaze Blue, which is Arc System Works,
Yeah.
they said that they're actively looking to make a fighting game based on a famous IP because they're saying that this would be a good way to attract new fans to fighting game genre. What do you think about that, Felipe? Which IP would you like Arc System Works to make a big IP?
Oh my god, like there's so many for them to adapt. I don't know. It can't be too old. But maybe, just maybe, it could be Yu Yu Hakusho. Yu Yu Hakusho, like the classic anime, the previous work from the Hunter x Hunter guy Togashi, has been getting a crazy revive. It got announcement of like new OVA episodes that may or may not be like a sequel, post time skip type thing. It's getting a stage play, so maybe, just maybe, you know. But I think it's gonna be like a Western IP. The name doesn't come out like exactly, but maybe could be like uh a Marvel game, but I doubt.
I would be down for a
Maybe
Marvel fighting game.
maybe Lord of the Rings, Star Wars. I don't remember. I enjoying a blank for the moment here. If there's a follow up, I'll let you know in the future. But I did hear something about there are rumors already for that.
Really? I mean, just
Yeah.
from what you said, and then we'll conclude on that. Imagine just a Disney fighting game with like Star Wars and Marvel together. That would attract people. Darth
If they
Vader
were
versus
to
Iron Man? Let's go.
if they were to do that, I think they will have to follow like the Smash formula.
Well, all right, so this was
Oh,
our episode, our fighting game special with our fighting game expert, Felipe San.
yeah.
All
Stay
right.
informed, guys.